Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. There's a lot of things that I've written that's out right now. Make sure that you go and check it out. Make sure you go and check out the latest gene therapy column and podcast. We're talking about fantasy sports and sports betting and life when it comes to that. Make sure that you check out both of my columns that are out on The Athletic right now. One is a betting column on a four-team parlay between the NFC and AFC championship games, and then the other one is my top six best player props that are happening this weekend in the AFC and NFC championship game. It is championship weekend, and I am not in my normal location. I am actually at an airport right now. The airport that I am at will stay a secret, but I am here because this morning, when you go to the doctor and you're getting older as a man, and especially as a black man, there are certain procedures that you have done that don't exactly make you feel like working for the rest of the day. And so after that, knowing that procedure was coming up, I took a day, and it actually coincides with some other obligations that I need to take care of. So after that procedure was over, I was like, I can't go. I can't go to work after this. If you are a man and you are over 40 or 40 and over, you should know what I'm talking about. If you are a black man and you're over 40, you better know what I'm talking about, because colon cancer is real, especially real in our society. And a lot of times we just don't take care of ourselves as well as we do, because we've grown up with this Superman complex. We've grown up with this idea that we can just out tough and out strengthen everything. It's actually funny, because women are tougher than us naturally. They're built to be able to withstand more pain than we can, and yet they go to the doctor all the time, which just shows you how much smarter they are than we are when it comes to everyday life. Because they go to the doctor if something's not feeling right, something's straight to the doctor. We as men, we tend to sit around and wait and not go to the doctor and think that in some kind of capacity that things are just going to get better. So if I could give you any advice as a man to another man, we really need to make sure that we're going to the doctor. We need to make sure that we are at the doctor regularly, that we are getting regular checkups, that we are doing the things that we need to do in order to keep ourselves healthy. Because that's important. That's important to us in life, especially to former athletes who have spent their life fighting through injury. There's so many athletes out there who spent their life playing through being hurt, playing through being injured, pushing away any type of small injuries that they may have, that now when they do face a real injury, when they do face something that's serious, they're just not in position to understand how to take care of their bodies any better, because they've never taken care of their body. I mean, it's really that simple. So let's make sure we do a better job of taking care of ourselves and taking care of our bodies as we get older. That's for all people, but especially for my men out there and my black men out there. It's going to be a great weekend of football, but ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about basketball. There's some really good college basketball being played out there right now. Um, Gonzaga seems to be back on track. I've been really impressed with South Dakota State and Oral Roberts out there on the West as well, and what they've been able to do. Obviously, Auburn ascending to the number one spot. Coach Bruce Pearl bringing Auburn from obscurity to a program that is, you know, the top in the nation right now, after doing the same thing, or not really the same thing, but after taking Tennessee from an afterthought in men's basketball to one of the better programs in the country. After doing that at several other places, it speaks to how good Bruce Pearl is as a coach. Clearly he has something that hits the right tenor with these young men to A, get them to come play for him, and B, get them to perform on the court. Now, when I met Bruce Pearl years ago, this was a long time ago, I want to say 2004 or 2005. When I met Bruce Pearl, then I was not impressed with Bruce Pearl when I met him. He had a very used car salesman kind of vibe to him, to me. But I remember the players being really like taken with them. And as a basketball player, I was like, nah, that's not the guy I want to play for. But there was something about him that made those players really like attract to him. And I noticed that immediately. And he's been able to take whatever that it is that he possesses, he's been able to use that to continually get talent at a school where all they care about is football. And I think that that's really saying something. It's one thing to get talent at Illinois because we know how much Illinois cares about basketball. It's one thing to get it at Wisconsin, Milwaukee when, you know, football is not even in the picture. But then to go to Tennessee and get it popping at Tennessee, then go to Auburn and get it popping at Auburn, it's applause because it's hard. It's difficult to do it in one place. To do it in multiple places like he's been able to do really says something about his abilities as a coach and as a recruiter, and that has to be applauded. There's a lot of good basketball, man. North Carolina is doing the Jekyll and Hyde thing. One game they look really good. The next game they look really bad. The ACC overall not as dominant as we've seen it be in years past. I won't say that other conferences are, you know, closing the gap on them, but I do think it's a situation where other conferences are taking basketball more seriously than they have in the past. The Big 12 is still the Big 12, but the Pac-12 has made a climb, and the SEC has made a climb, and then Big 10 is the Big 10 as it's normally been. The Big East, not what the Big East has been. I still don't know if the idea of them deciding to just go the all like Catholic private school route was really the way to go. Like I don't know if that was overreaction to conference realignment and them feeling like they didn't want to deal with the shuffle anymore, and getting out of the football game, whatever it might be. I just don't know if long term that's going to be the answer to ascending the Big East back to the top of basketball the way that it was for some years there when Georgetown and Syracuse and Villanova and St. Joe's and, you know, all of those. Actually, I don't think St. Joe's was in the Big East. I think they were in the A-10. But you get what I'm saying. Like all of those schools that were in the Big East were really like running the show when it came to college basketball. But, you know, you got to love the hoops game. You got to love college. High school basketball is popping. Around here in Savannah, there are the 3A region in Savannah is probably the toughest region in the state of Georgia to come out of as a basketball team. Luckily, you get 4 teams in, because if you didn't, you would if you only got 2 teams in, you would have a team who legitimately could make a run in the state title and a run to a state title not get the opportunity to make the region, to make the state playoffs. And that would be a shame. I could argue that there are probably 5 teams in that 3A conference that could win a first round game if they make it to the playoffs. Windsor Forest has looked like Windsor Forest. The improvements that Deontay Bass has made in his game, the improvements of the gentlemen around him can't go unnoticed. Johnson, while probably not as dynamic as they were last year, when you lose a guy like Amandre Bowles, they still have a collective that when they're clicking, it's really hard to get to them because they have several guys who can make it happen now. It doesn't all just flow through one guy like it flowed through Amandre last year. Now it goes through several guys, and several guys get their gun off. And when they're all working at the same time, it really is a strong, cohesive unit. And for not for anything, but they play one of the hardest out of region schedules that anyone has put together. So when they get to the state playoffs, they're going to be battle tested. Going on the road won't be an issue for them. The moment won't be too big because they've been in these pressure situations before. And then Groves. Oh my goodness, Groves is coming, man. They are coming. And what Coach Kevin's done over there has been remarkable. They are definitely a player and have a chance to go to the top. They have a chance to win it all. It's going to be really interesting watching this 3A region in Savannah unfold. 4A with Jenkins and Benedictine and New Hampstead and Islands. I think Islands is down this year, obviously, but it depends on what Jenkins squad you get. Are they locked in? Are they ready to go? If they are, they could be a factor. If not, I think that Benedictine can walk away with the region title. Maybe if New Hampstead gets hot, they have the opportunity to take it. That one's not as clear. I don't see a lot of advancement out of that region beyond the region. But you never can tell. Last year, Jenkins lost their starting point guard. They lost some other guys midway through the year, and they took their first round opponent down and got absolutely robbed out of a victory that they should have had in that. So we'll see. On the girls' side, man, it's interesting because it seems in 3A, it seems like it always is going to come down to Beach and Johnson. And I'm sorry, I didn't even talk about the Beach boys in the 3A. Man, I'm telling you, this 3A, my apologies to Beach High School. Beach High School is absolutely a factor. Baby grandmama over there, and that cast of characters, they are going to be a tough out. I'm telling you, there's so many teams out of that 3A region. If you have one ticket that you're going to want to watch, you're going to want to watch that 3A regional playoff. Who I'm going to try to be there if I can to bring it to you. But that 3A regional playoff is going to be lit. On the girls' side, Johnson and Beach, it's obviously are the class. We'll see what comes out of them. 4A, it seems like it's Islands to lose. 4A seems like it's Islands to lose. I don't think we'll see Jenkins make a monumental, historic, dynastic run this year, like they did last year. And then you got your private schools and Calvary. Man, they are tough. The sky's the limit for Calvary. I don't know if they can win the state, but I wouldn't bet against them. Them girls are tough, and not just tough but they're skilled, highly skilled. So they can break your neck from the 3-point line. They can out tough you. You can knock them down. They're going to get back up. They're tough. But it'll be interesting next year when those private schools are up in 3A. How much better is that 3A region going to be for girls as well? I'm so excited, man. High school basketball is fantastic. College basketball is fantastic. The Lakers got AD back, then LeBron gets hurt. I don't think it's something that the Lakers have to worry about. I think that's just LeBron saying, "Hey, man, I need a few days. I've been manning the post, and I'm old as hell. So I think they'll be all right." But it was good to see them get that win versus the Nets, even though the Nets were without two of their big three. I don't care. When you need wins versus quality teams, get wins versus quality teams however they come. It's basketball time, ladies and gentlemen. This is when it starts to crank up into the second half of seasons. So you'll hear me talking a lot more about basketball, especially as football starts to move away. But as we know, football is year round. And so look for a lot of content from me this weekend and into next week from football. So that's what I got. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been offensive interference. Offensive interference, that's funny. That's been Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Till next time, peace.